To Decision 2012, the front-runners in the race for the Republican presidential nomination spent the day in Michigan. Rick Santorum took the stage about an hour ago near Detroit, just 12 days away from the primary, looking to convince voters that he's the man for the job.
We live in a time of great consequence. And Michigan is in the center of it. You have an opportunity to be a game changer in this primary. You have an opportunity to be a game changer in the general election.
The polls show Rick Santorum with a sizable lead over Mitt Romney, who grew up in Michigan. Romney spoke in the Detroit area earlier today and picked up a big endorsement from Governor Rick Snyder.
And let's take you live now to Novi and 24-hour News 8 political reporter Rick Albin. Rick, you spoke one-on-one with Mr. Romney yesterday, and tonight you sat down with Rick Santorum. What did he have to say?
Well, it's pretty interesting to talk to him about this race, because who would have guessed that just less than 2 weeks out of Michigan primary, we would have this kind of a race where Mitt Romney was not in the lead. By the way, those numbers are getting closer and closer. Some big ad money has been dumped into the state on behalf of Romney, and that's starting to change the game a little bit. But I asked the senator if he expected to be here. Did you expect 2 weeks before the Michigan primary to be in Michigan leading?
Well, no, I can't say that I expected any particular thing other than the fact that I believe that ultimately that our campaign would do well, and that we'd be successful. Otherwise, I wouldn't be involved in this. You don't step forward and run for an office like president if you don't think that you have something to offer that that you think the country will accept and get behind. And so I'm feeling very comfortable that we're in a good place right now. We've got a lot of work to do, and polls are going to go up and down, and you can't worry about that. You just got to stay focused on getting your message out and doing the best you can to rally folks behind you.
Tell the people of Michigan how they will find jobs under a President Santorum.
You'll see an explosion of the manufacturing sector of the economy, which is, of course, key here in Michigan. We are going to cut the corporate rate to zero. In other words, there will be no taxes on manufacturers and processors here in America. If that doesn't say open for business for Michigan, I don't know what does. I mean, this is where you make things, and if we're going to be a vibrant exporter of goods again, a lot of that activity is going to come right here in this state, and I think people are going to be excited about the opportunities that are going to be available here.
As you can see, Santorum is talking very specifically about Michigan, and that's one of the ways he hopes to try to keep the race close here. He says, as you heard him say, the polls come and go, but you just have to keep running the race in what is a very unusual day coming to an end here in the east side of the state, where you had both front runners all over the area all day long. It has been a pretty interesting day to watch.
Okay, Rick, we talked about the polls just a minute ago, and Santorum has a sizable lead. What does this say about the race at this point, at least?
Well, I think it's a completely unusual race. We haven't ever seen it this absolutely jumbled throughout this whole process. But keep a close eye on those numbers, because we've already started to see them shift. At the same time, what is interesting is that Santorum is still up nationally, and he is climbing in the polls. He's ahead and climbing even higher in Ohio, another big battleground state. There's a lot going on in this area right here. We're going to see both of these candidates back in the state next week, and probably even leading right up to next weekend and into the primary. But it's going to be a very interesting time, and those numbers are going to be interesting to see how much that money coming into this state will change those numbers in the next 12 days.